All right, so it's about time for another update at the house here. We are pretty much done with all the rough construction. Roof's done, walls are framed up inside, windows are on. So we'll take a walk around, show you what we got now, show you what happened after the storm, and try to keep it moving forward. Let's go. We'll start at the back here. You can see the sliders installed, both of them, all the windows installed. Big window on the top, which looks great. Show you what that looks like on the inside. Here we go, all the walls are done, electrical's done, plumbing's done by me. We'll go over that in a little bit. Go over some of the electrical work done. Look at that window right there. It's a money shot. The windows still have a weird haze to them because they still got all the protective coverings on them, but after that is removed, it's like a light aqua color. Here's the wall where the TV is gonna go. Just look at the ceilings here. So this is gonna be living room, dining room, kitchen, guest bedroom up there. Here we got our guest bath. Got one bedroom here, another bedroom here. There's gonna be our laundry room where the water heater is gonna go, and that's some of the plumbing there we'll go over in a little bit. And here's the master. Got one closet right here. Master bath. And a walk-in closet. So let's go over what I did on the plumbing. All right, so how I mentioned in the last video, we're having some back and forth with the plumber, what he wanted to do. So I ended up doing it myself, and this is pretty much what we got here. We got that big glue hose on the right. That's what's feeding the water from the outside into that manifold. That manifold then comes out the top, loops around, and that's where the heat pump water heater is gonna go, which is like a little mini air conditioner that makes hot water. It's a little bit more efficient than a gas one or electric one, so that's what I decided to go with. And it'll help us out ACing the small attic space we got here to keep it nice and cool. After that, the hot water comes around here. And here's where you got your two manifolds, cold water side, hot water side. Every room you could work on, and you just turn off that one room. You don't have to shut the whole main to the house off. So if you have to do work in one bathroom or something like that, you could just shut off whatever valve it is that you're gonna be working on. You can see here we got master bath, that is the laundry room, guest bath, and kitchen. So each one of those rooms is gonna have a direct run that goes to it, and from there branches off. That also kind of helps you have less fittings. As you can see here, there is no fittings anywhere here, just like for the laundry room or the washer. There's no fittings. Those two hoses go straight from there to right here with zero fittings. And I'll show you some of the fixtures I put. Here you can see the run that comes to the master. See, the fittings don't start, so I had to start teeing off to feed things. And these are some that I got on, can't remember, some supply house online. But it's kind of nice because I have all four valves right here, 2 hots, 2 colds, or vice versa, sorry. And you don't have to have 2 boxes. I don't have to have a bunch of extra fittings. I save myself 2 tees. So everything's gonna come out of this box, and this is already comes ready to just trim around it, and it comes with a trim ring. So once you're done, that's finished. There's no ugly stub outs coming out, and then they're gonna put some kind of ugly valve coming out. So all the boxes for the water are all finished. Here you can see I'm gonna have shower towers in both bathrooms. So this is gonna be behind the tile. And that's gonna be cut out, and then the shower tower is gonna cover it, and those are the 2 fittings to connect the shower tower, which is the same in the other bathroom. So you can just see the reduction of fittings needed. For example, this whole thing only has a T on the toilet, and then 1 T on each hot and cold water line for the sink. And other than that, it's a direct run the whole way with no fittings. Here in the guest bath, I got a different kind of box. This one looks a lot more finished. So instead of having those 3 little tiny ugly holes behind your cabinet, you're gonna have this nice square opening, and it's gonna have a trim ring. And that's pretty much what it'll look like. It has a rubber piece that seals on the drain. and then the 2 valves there. And I got water arresters on all of these fixtures just because it wasn't that much extra. So, and you can see here again, the only fitting I have is one fitting here that's going to continue to go that way. And then the hot water fitting is down there. So this is one direct run back to the manifold, and then you just have those fittings feeding the actual fixtures. And then those going into the wall are what's going to be going to the garage. So in the kitchen, we got the same setup here. The water lines come out of the floor there because of that wall. It's kind of impossible to get them through the attic. So I ran all those pipings, like I said earlier, come up there, and then you got a T there, goes this way, refrigerator, those go to the outside right there. And then over here is where the sink's going to be, and these are another one of those boxes. I'll include a link in the description for these. But it's kind of nice because it's just one box. You got your hot water for your sink, your hot water for your dishwasher, and your cold water for your sink. So it just saves just having a bunch of T's. And like I said, everything's nice and squared, so it's easy for the dry waters to come cut a square hole. And then they all come with nice little trim rings when you're done. Here we are on the outside. This is where the water is going to be coming in. This is what I decided to make. So far, this is the pipe that I showed you that goes into the house. It's sealed with a piece of foam in there. And once this all gets stuccoed, you ain't gonna see any of this. But it could move in a little bit. I pushed it out right now just so that people could be able to stucco this. I don't want to attach this to the wall and then they stucco over the screws and stuff like that. So if you ever had to change this valve out, it's gonna be in the stucco. So it's all about the little details you want to try to pay attention to. Here I got a ball valve to disconnect the house, and that's also how the house was holding pressure for the inspection. So once all this is done, this will be bolted to the house, and then we'll be running PEX from here to the meter. And now how we're on the side of the house, I'll show you the other thing we kind of had to do here. We ended up adding a sub panel outside here just in case I ever do decide to be dumb enough to add a pool. I could run the pool pump off of this, and the sprinkler pump's probably going to be ran somewhere in this area. So instead of running a bunch of wires to this area, which was kind of a pain in the butt, they decided to just run one fat wire to a sub panel, and we're going to be feeding our mini split for the kitchen. That's going to be right on this wall here, the sprinkler pump, and whatever we need in the future if we got to add something to the backyard or something like that. We got a side outlet, and this is the other box for the mini split that's going to go on this wall here for the guest room in the front. That's going to be fed off that also. Here I got a power wire for my landscape lighting in the front. I decided not to do any fixtures in the front. I'm just going to do kind of like landscape lights and an uplight. So that is what that wire is for there. Here you can see the tile. That is the tile that's going to be going on the wall. On this wall actually, and the back wall on the room of the slider. And that is the material that's going to be on the soffit. They're pretty close colored. It's a little bit lighter. Well, that's going to go on the ceiling. It'll probably look the same. And you can see there they got another electrical outlet here by the front door, which is kind of nice. Christmas lights or whatever you need. And you got the entrance light up there, and there you can see the front door. Just look at that. This is just a pull handle. It kind of has like friction hinges on the inside, and it just has a lock hole. I'll show you how that opens up from the inside. It's locked right now, but that just looks pretty cool right there. And take you to the other side. So here we are on this side. This side's pretty simple. I don't think we're going to run any of the conduit for the mini split that's going to go here in the garage till probably the future because it's money and time. But you can see all the windows are installed here as well. All these 4 windows are the same size. And I also just decided to put a glass impact on the garage. There really wasn't that much more money in a regular door. It looks a lot nicer, lets more light in, and it matches. Then there you can see a light up there. The 2 boxes for the 2 mini splits on this side, which are going to be fed, I believe, from that panel. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Another outlet there, and another outlet there, and we got another outdoor light up there. And on the back wall, we're gonna have light there, there, and there. And the garage is gonna have something similar. This is the other wall that's gonna have that wood tile right here. So I think it's gonna look pretty cool. Looking forward to it. Let's take a look more on the inside and some of the things I did there that I think will really help out. All right, so this is something I learned on the Build Show Network. If you know anything about watching people building houses on YouTube, I'm imagining you've watched some of Matt's videos. He has tons of good information. And this was one thing I got from his channel. All those scrap pieces of wood that are in the dumpster that they're gonna throw away, I had the framers attach those to the wall for the kitchen for the lowers and the uppers. That way I'm not running huge Tapcons to attach my cabinets. I got wood backing right there for all the kitchen cabinets. The other place he recommends to put wood backing is for all your TVs. I'm still not 100% sure exactly where they're gonna go, but there's the outlet for it. Added this backing right here so I could be able to attach my TV bracket, at least most of it, to actual wood and not drywall anchors. So at least the top will be in some solid wood and the bottoms could be in anchors or something like that. But at least like that, it's a lot firmer. So pretty much every room that's gonna have a TV has something similar like that. The other thing he highly recommends is for your towel holders. So I added these. I'm not sure exactly where the towel holder is gonna go. So I just added 2x4s pretty much the whole length of the way. I don't know if I'll put 2 because this is gonna be my son's room, guest bathroom kind of thing. So I don't know if I should put 2. But that way your towel holders have a nice solid place to attach it to. You're not just using drywall anchors because they do rip out over time. The other thing I'm thinking about doing now, also thinking about it the other day, was putting one in this area here for the toilet paper holder. That way you could screw that directly into wood and not just drywall too. So I gotta mess with that one of these days I get time. And secondly, I'm gonna be putting floating vanities. So you definitely wanna add some backing to screw your vanity to. You don't wanna be putting that into drywall. So I got my vanity instructions, looked at the measurements there, and I put those backings so I could screw in the floating vanities to that. And pretty much, like I said, in every room, you'll see the TV holding studs there so we could screw into something solid. And then there's a TV backing. And again, for the towel holder, I got it pretty much going all the way across. So anywhere I want to mount the towels, pretty much I will have a place to attach it firmly. Like I said, I'll probably do another one here for the toilet paper holder, just so that doesn't ever move. And then you can see here, I Tapconned wood 2x4s to where my floating vanity is gonna attach. So now when I go to attach my vanity, I'm going right into solid wood and I don't have to worry about is the Tapcon reaching, because it is about 2 inches of wood plus insulation. So you're gonna need a pretty long Tapcon. And then here I'm gonna have another like floating kind of storage thing. So right there I have somewhere where I could firmly attach that as well. Another thing that they ended up doing, I'm not a huge fan of how this is gonna look, but I guess we could cover it with something. But this is another sub panel inside. Again, how it's so hard to run the wiring in this house because of the height, and that's solid. And that's all poured solid concrete on top. I ran that conduit down there to be able to run the laundry room. And they decided, well, we could use that to run a sub panel. And then pretty much, I'd say more than half the house is ran off this sub panel right here. I guess it was a lot easier. It made it easier on them. I said, go for it. So you can see all the electrical here is all pretty much done. And that's pretty much it. But you could see it must kind of suck to work all the way up there. You can see in the garage how high it goes. So here we have the main panel that really doesn't have much in it. But there you can see it goes up and then it goes into the house there. Here we got the front door. So you see inside is also just like this big long grab bar. So pretty much all you do is you push it. And then up there you can see it has a roller catcher, another roller catcher on the bottom. And then there you can see the roller. It's pretty much when you close the door, that's it. It stays latched. I mean, it's not crazy latched. You could push it open, but it's latched enough where it'll keep it closed. And all you gotta do is lock the door, but it just looks awesome. Can't wait to see everything clean and done. So that's pretty much it for this video. We got spray foam people coming as soon as the framing inspection is complete, which is hopefully soon. And then we'll start getting drywall in here. And I can start going to town because kitchen cabinets are being delivered this week on Friday. And I'm running out of places to put stuff, so definitely need to start moving with this project. So one thing I forgot to mention, we did go through Hurricane Ian about a month and a half ago, and pretty much the last 4 trusses ended up ripping off. Because as you can see there, the trusses don't go all the way to the end, the fascia does. And the framers never attached that fascia at all. So you had a freaking 2-foot overhang with no attachment. So during the storm, that must have been catching wind. And when that started lifting, it pretty much ripped whatever was attached to that sheet of plywood off. And I was actually pretty impressed by those trusses. They pretty much stayed intact. They just ripped apart, but all the hangers were still on both ends. So I'm 100% confident that if this house had all the hurricane straps the way it does right now, that I could show you on the outside, this house will go through anything pretty much. Here, it only looks like 1 hurricane attachment, but there's one in the concrete, and then they added that second one. I'll show you what it's like up there now. So back here in the hurricane, none of those straps were on. So you see this whole overhang was just out without being attached, and all this was just catching wind in the storm. And it pretty much ripped a whole sheet of plywood. So from here to where that black tape is pretty much all what ripped off. So I had to drive all the way to Georgia because I couldn't get them shipped on my 1 day off. But here you can see the roof lines. It just looks pretty cool. To me, it's what makes the house. I'll show you what it looks like up there so you can see how big it is. And then there you can see all the straps there. There's 1 bolted and there's 1 in concrete. Then up there is all of them are in concrete. And then here's kind of the same. You can see them there. See that one in the concrete there, the other one bolted. I guess they had some kind of mishap when they were pouring the concrete that they weren't allowed to put them all inside. So let me climb up the ladder and I'll show you what the top looks like. So here we are on the top of the highest roof. Just looks so nice and flat up here. I don't know. I just really like being up here. Maybe I'll make some little stairs so I can come up here all the time. Pretty good view too. Got the sun setting over there. And the craziest thing about this whole thing is I'm thinking about doing all this roofing myself. With this storm now, you just got so much people doing roofs right now. They're just getting anybody they could get their hands on. You're not going to get any real qualified roofers to come out here and do any work. So I figured to do it myself, save about 20 grand. So we'll see how that goes. See you guys later on the next video.